Good Sunday afternoon. Meteorologist Nick Kelly here with an update, a short-range update on your forecast, focusing on tonight, overnight, and into Monday morning, because that is when thunderstorm chances are going to start really ramping up across a good portion of the area. Now remember, like Doug's been saying over the past several weeks, we're going to be doing a lot more YouTube lives, especially as severe weather season really gets going. And of course, we're going to be making sure that you don't miss any updates from us, so we'll post them on here. But to be sure you don't miss any videos from us, be sure you like our videos, make sure you subscribe, and don't forget to ring the bell. That'll make sure that you always get notifications from us so that you don't miss any news videos from us, be it news, weather, and even sports for that matter. That being said, let's move on with our setup for this afternoon and heading into tonight and early Monday morning. At 2:46, there is nothing on the radar network, even with partly sunny skies passing on through. This is what really allowed temperatures to soar into the upper 70s to lower 80s this afternoon, after many of us started in the lower to middle 50s this morning. We had a good south wind to help us out, but that strong south wind is ahead of our next cold front that is actually on top of the, let's say, the I-35 corridor, especially along the Kansas Turnpike and starting to cross over the Flint Hills. That's at the surface. Upstairs, we have this upper level wave really starting to kick into gear as well. It's going to eventually help override a cap, a layer of warm air aloft that's preventing any moisture from rising up and getting any rain or thunderstorms going. So once these two features really come into play, that is when our thunderstorm chances will start to ramp up. Not to mention, we definitely have the warmth ahead of our thunderstorm chances. Everybody's pushing into the upper 70s to lower 80s before we hit the top of the 3 o'clock hour. So let's break down how we're expecting this evening, tonight, and early Monday morning to unfold. The future track here might be overdoing cloud cover just a little bit, but it's still got the right idea. We're dry all the way through the rest of the afternoon and warm with temperatures in the upper 70s and pushing into the lower 80s. Now here's 7 o'clock, the leading edge of the cold front, approaching Fort Scott, Chanute, Erie, St. Paul, down to Independence, and just about close to Bartlesville as you work into northeastern Oklahoma. Once we get past 7, 8, 9 o'clock, that's when we'll start to keep a real close eye on the radar, because as more moisture gets pulled in, just along and even just ahead of the approaching cold front, we are going to see some scattered rain and thunderstorms popping up. Now, scattered by themselves, they are going to pose a risk for some large hail, at least up to quarter size, if not a little bit larger. Wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour, if not a little bit higher. And there is a tornado threat, but it's really low. It's not zero, but it's there, something that we'll still want to watch. But have a look at what happens as we go through the overnight. All the moisture just consolidates everything to a big cluster of thunderstorms, almost linear with the way things are looking here on this future track. But you can see these rain chances will keep going as we go throughout the course of the overnight and into early Monday morning. This setup means that these storms, as we head into the very late night, early Monday morning, they're going to be elevated. Not much of a tornado threat here, but still could bring down some moderate to heavy rain and some wind and hail as well. And then we're going to try to back things down a bit as we head toward your morning drive. So let's break down what we're expecting with these storms to do as far as how much of a punch that they'll pack. And to be sure everybody sees this map in full, let's take this map in full itself here without the webcam here. You can see, for most of us, our marginal or minimal risk for severe weather has expanded now, and most of us are in a low risk for some severe weather as we go into late this evening and into the overnight hours. The earliest I want to keep an eye on these potential thunderstorm chances, at least them getting going, 7, 8 to 9 o'clock. I think that's the earliest that any thunderstorms will try to get going. And I think the strongest of the storms will be with us until about 3 a.m. as we go into your Monday. Again, not too worried about a tornado threat here. I'm keeping that minimal. It's not zero, but the threat's pretty low. And I'm going to mainly focus on any storms with the potential for some large hail, high wind, and certainly some heavy rainfall. That could actually range between 1/4 of an inch on the low end to about, let's say, an inch and a half, certainly on the higher end, depending on how the heavy rain sets up and where it tracks as we carry on through the rest of this evening and into the overnight hours into early Monday morning. So we'll be keeping an eye on things as we go into the overnight hours. Until then, enjoy your Sunday afternoon and Keep an eye on the Skywatch weather app as well. And of course, we'll be on there and online if necessary.